Welcome into the PFF NFL Daily. Today discussing the Cleveland Browns. And Sam, the big question today, after winning last night, the Cleveland Browns with Case Keenum at quarterback, can they keep it going? Can they win with Case Keenum at quarterback? Because they might have to. Now, Baker Mayfield, he re-injured his left shoulder on Sunday. It is dislocated again for the second time. It's a worse dislocation than what happened earlier in the season. But they also, just like broke his arm too when they were trying to pop it back into place. So he's actually got a break in there as well. So there is a possibility that Baker could still play, but there's also the possibility that he's going to, get shut down for a little bit and, rest up a little bit. Your faces are telling a great story. What do you think?
Did you just slander the Browns medical staff live on the PFF NFL Daily? In which case, I would like to distance myself from Steve Palazzolo's comments.
Isn't that how it was described?
I'm not sure that's how it happened.
Popping it back into place. Okay. I take that back. Second time I've had to take stuff back here in the last couple days. Let's just say he's got a break as well as a dislocation. Much respect to the Cleveland medical staff. I would never blame them.
Yeah,
this isn't the Chargers puncturing Tyrod's lung or anything like that. It's not the same.
We already knew that Mayfield had a fully torn labrum in his shoulder, which will require surgery at some point. The question has always been, is he going to try and gut it out throughout the season, or will he get shut down and have the surgery and, go get it taken care of? Then it comes out, Jake Glazer reported that he has a break in his humerus bone, which is, that's the big chunky bone here, like the solid thing. But like the word fracture conjures up images of what happened to Ben Stockwell, where the arm just like snaps in half and it's not together anymore. That's probably not what we're talking about with Baker Mayfield. There are doctors out there that will tell you exactly what we're dealing with, but it's a much more minor fracture, quote unquote, than what you imagine when that word comes up. But it still may keep him out for a couple of weeks. It's already caused him to miss this game. And honestly, like, depending on how everything goes, maybe he will shut it down and just go get the damn thing fixed, right? All of it together, like in one. But for as long as that's the case, we're riding with Case Keenum. And, I said at the start of the game last night that if Keenum has a hell of a game, there are going to be some wild takes out on Twitter after that. Baker Mayfield struggling, battling through injuries. Keenum comes in, balls out, and now we've got to talk about, should they just make the switch at quarterback anyway?
That didn't happen, right?
No, I don't think that's the situation we're in. But I think we did learn that Keenum can kind of steer the ship as long as the Browns are this rushing juggernaut and, no Nick Chubb, no Kareem Hunt. So their third string running back goes out there and has 146 yards on 22 carries and a touchdown and is the guy they are feeding at the end of the game to ice the clock and just wreck the Denver Broncos defense. So as long as that's happening, Keenum can go out there and put up like a couple of 100 yards and just not screw it up and be that game managing style of quarterback.
Yeah, Ernest Johnson. Fantastic game.
Ernest Johnson.
Yeah, as you said, 22 for 146. And look, I think the offensive line did a nice job blocking up front, but there were a lot of plays where it's like, oh, he should probably get 2, he gets 6, right? He should probably get 3, he gets 7 or 8. He just kept maximizing what was happening at the line of scrimmage. So that was great, and that was very Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt alike. So the Browns showed that they can continue to run the football. I do think there are elements of the Browns being able to win in other ways, something I cite on our podcasts all the time, having other options to win rather than just relying on your quarterback. I think Kevin Stefanski has always done a pretty good job schematically, mixing in the screen game, mixing out the rollout game, having open throws, and then taking enough pressure off the quarterback. I don't think I'm not ready to overreact. I'm sure there are people thinking that the Browns are better with Case Keenum. I'm sure there are people out there. That is not the truth. They're not better with Case Keenum than a healthy Baker Mayfield. But some of Baker's ups and downs over these last couple of weeks, whether it's due to the injury or not, maybe Keenum brings a little bit more consistency to the table. He's still not perfect, though, Sam. He invites a ton of pressure, and he's chucked a couple passes into coverage, some questionable ones. But the game manager type thing that you said, sure, he can hit the open throws that are schemed up for him.
And it is worth noting that the best season that we've seen what Case Keenum's ceiling is, and it was that 2017 season with the Minnesota Vikings where he took them all the way to the NFC Championship game. Was the guy throwing the pass for the Minneapolis Miracle to take them past the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs. Like, Case Keenum's ceiling is a pretty good quarterback. He had a PFF grade that year of 81.4, and that was back before passing exploded. So 81.4 was probably a little bit better then than it is now. But that was a good mark. 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,100 yards. This isn't counting the playoffs. He was productive that year, and that's probably the best situation he's been in terms of supporting cast, scheme, which is very similar to the scheme he's running right now in Cleveland. And look, the Browns are still beaten up, right? 2 running backs missing, right tackle missing, receivers missing, Odell Beckham playing, but has his own torn labrum in addition to whatever he's dealing with, or an AC sprain rather, in addition to a torn labrum that he's always had. You know, they're banged up right now, but if and when they get healthy, like, this is the best situation, or right up there with the best situation Case Keenum's ever been in. So it's giving him a really good platform to be as good as he's been before.
I'm going to tell you why we may have just wasted time on these first 6 minutes breaking down the Case Keenum Browns. But first, the Browns won, and you can win too this week. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. They got you covered. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and if they do, you win $200 in free bets. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's that simple. If Sportsbook's not yet available in your state, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can win huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PFF. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and you win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win with promo code PFF this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit, $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The next game's against the Steelers, Sam. Here, they're facing the Steelers on Halloween. Baker's going to come back. He's just going to tough it out. He's going to come back next week and play the Steelers. He's going to do it.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I don't think the Steelers has anything to do with it. Like,
yeah, the division game. This is the game you got to, not that the Steelers are the team to beat in the division, but if, the Steelers could be 4-3, no, they're on a bye this week. It's going to be 3-3 versus 4-3, right? So Baker's going to want to play this game against the Steelers.
I mean,
it's not just a Thursday night game.
He wanted to play this game as well. And they said, Baker, your arm is hanging by a thread. Sit your ass down. You're not playing. Like, I'm sure he's going to want to play in it. Baker wants to play in every game. He's one of those quarterbacks. This was the first game he'd missed through injury in 8 years or something insane like that. The guy has been incredibly durable, but his shoulder is wrecked right now. And he might want to play right away. But if you're the Browns, you have to ask yourself, like, how smart is this? Assuming we make the playoffs, when do we want this guy back and how healthy can we get him? Because the labrum thing is going to be all season long. That's not going away. The question is, like, is it worth putting him back? We've already seen, Mayfield go out there playing through the busted shoulder and have some pretty iffy games. Now, I don't know how close you can get him to 100% based off the fact that this is an injury that isn't going away. But I'm pretty certain that, 75% Baker is probably not worth putting out there versus Case Keenum.
To answer the initial question, can the Browns win with Case Keenum? Yes, I think they can. The way I like to describe backup quarterbacks, and I do think Case is one of the best in the league, a guy that can go win 2 or 3 games for you, right? That you could trust for a few games. You don't want to put the whole season into his hands, right? Even though Keenum did have that really nice 2017, I think that's the anomaly in his career, not the norm, even though it was with Kevin Stefanski. So, yes, if you got to roll with Keenum for a couple more weeks, especially with a 17-game schedule, it's extended a little bit. You're definitely not getting a bye in the playoffs, so you need health. You're going to play a lot of football games, presumably. So there is a strong case for Case to play these next few weeks and let Baker get healthy. And I think the Browns have the roster. They're showing their roster depth that they could win with him.
Well, that's the thing. It's a sliding scale, right? Can you win a Thursday night game against the Denver Broncos with Case Keenum? Yes, apparently. Can you win a couple of games with Case Keenum if he needs to start? Sure. Can you win enough to get to the playoffs with Case Keenum as your quarterback? Again, sure. Can you win in the playoffs and win a Super Bowl with Case Keenum as your quarterback? Probably not. And I don't know if you can with Baker Mayfield either, but I would be strongly betting against the Cleveland Browns if they were stuck with Case Keenum as their quarterback for the rest of the season here on it.
Yeah, so Baker Mayfield, still a good quarterback. Had some ups and downs this year, in part because of the injury. He's better than Case Keenum. Keenum can do the job for a few weeks. We'll see when Baker gets back. Let us know. What do you think? Can the Browns go all the way with Case Keenum, or at least just win a few games? It's a PFF NFL Daily.